Hi everyone, John Morris, KWU instructor and technology trainer. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is a question I get asked quite a bit when I'm out on the road training. And that is, hey, when are we going to be able to put a featured listing page on our websites? And the good news is that the tech team at KWRI is creating a widget for us to easily do that. The bad news is it's just not here quite yet. So that's coming anytime. But if you are like me and you get a little impatient and you want to be able to have that on your website now, there is a pretty easy workaround that you could do to create a featured listings page on your own. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do in this video. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to log into Command. So make sure that you get into Command. Once we log in, we're going to go to where it says Sites. So we're going to click on Sites. And then when we get to the Sites page, on the top right corner where it says Create New Site, which is right here, we're going to click that button. It's going to ask us what kind of page do we want to make, a standalone page or on my agent site. We're going to want to add this to our agent site. So we're going to click on Add on my agent site and click Create Page. So now when this opens up, there's only two things that I want you to do to start. And the first is we're going to rename this. So we're going to highlight all that text. We're going to delete it. And then we are going to just type in the word featured listings. And then we're going to then go to the side here where it says company profile. And we're going to drag that in here. And then we're going to click configure widgets really quick. We're going to click where it says company profile up top. And then the only thing we're going to do here is we're going to type in again featured listings. What that's going to do when we hit save and apply, you can see this will change. Instead of saying about Royal Realtors, it's going to say featured listings, which is what we want it to say. After that, we're just going to hit save changes. We'll come back to this in a minute. We're going to click yes. And then this is going to take us back out to the settings page. So next thing we're going to want to do is go to where it says agent site settings, and we're going to click this so that we can add that page to our website. We're going to go down just a little bit here where it says pages and click pages. And then we're going to scroll down, and on the left side here in blue where it says add page with the plus sign, we're going to click add page. And then the same thing, we're going to type the page title to be featured listings. And then our URL slug, we're going to type in featured dash listings. And then the SEO description, you're just going to type a little bit on what keyword searches are so that people can, if they're searching Google, are going to have a better chance of finding your page. So I'm just going to type in something simple, probably come back to this later to really make sure that it's dialed in a little bit better, but I want to make sure that we get through this video a little bit faster. So featured listings of Keller Williams agent John Morris Real Estate Group. In Tracy, California, and then I'm just going to click Save Changes. Before I hit Save Changes, there is a little error it lets me know, is I needed to hit Select Page real quick, and then I'm going to select where it says Featured Listings, and I'm going to click Continue. Now it'll let me save. And then, like I said, I'm going to come back to this later so that I can optimize this a little bit more. I just want to hurry up so that we can get through and not have the video be so long. So I'm going to hit Save Changes. So now the data has been saved. We can then go back up to agent site pages. And we can now see that featured listings is showing up. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do now is I'm going to click the three little dots here, because now we're going to configure that page so that it looks the way we want it to look. So I'm going to click Edit. And this is just going to open up that page that we had created. When it opens up, we're going to click Configure Widgets. We're going to click Company Profile. And then now it took out the featured listings, so we're going to put in featured listings one more time. And then I have a document that is a template that tells you exactly what you need to do in order to create this page. And so it's pretty self-explanatory. I know some of this coding stuff looks a little bit daunting to some people who aren't familiar with it, but really the only thing that you need to modify or change in here is the stuff that's in red. The rest of the stuff's pretty easy. So let's just kind of follow through in here and make sure that we can go step by step, and then you can create your featured listings page too. So as it says up top here, headline, featured listings. That's what we have here. Okay, so we're good there. We can move on to the next part. Next part's going to be intro text. Now this is going to be the most complicated of all this, so I'm going to skip over this for just a minute and then we'll come back to that. So let's work on the section 1 and section 2 and footer stuff first, because most of that is just deleting or erasing. So in section 1 heading, it says leave blank. So section 1 heading, we go down here, highlight it, delete it. Section 1 text has a little red asterisk, so you see that we have to enter something in there. So what we're going to do here is we're in red. Okay, leave the stuff that says center alone, because this is a little bit of HTML code that's going to center the text that you put in on the page. That way it doesn't look a little kind of off center. So we're just going to highlight the stuff that's in red, and then you could type in whatever you want to say. So for example, I'm going to put in contact us today to schedule a private tour of our featured listings. And then once we have whatever message that we want in there, then we can go down to section 1 image. It says delete the image. And actually, if you look at section 1 image, section 2 heading, text, image, footer, and footer text, all of it says to leave it blank or to delete. So that's all we're going to do now, is we're going to go into, actually first, now we need to copy this whole section here from the little arrows to the arrow. And then we're going to copy that. And then we're going to go back to our page here. We're going to go to section 1 text. We're going to delete everything that's in that box. And then we're going to paste that little bit of code that we had created. And then the rest of the stuff, like I said, it tells us to delete or to leave blank. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hit the garbage can. We're going to delete the image. Section 2 text or heading, we're going to delete that. We're going to highlight all of the section 2 text, and we're going to delete that. We're going to use the garbage can to delete the image. We're going to highlight the footer heading and delete that, and the footer text and delete that. So before moving on, just so we can kind of see how this is starting to look, I'm going to hit save and apply. And that's going to remove all the stuff that was in here. So all that you should see now is the featured listings and then the example of the section 1 text that we're going to delete in a minute. And then you can see that little message that we had put down here on contacting us for the private tour is in the page, and it's centered as it should be. So now we have to go back and work on getting those featured listings on this page. So we're going to really focus in on this area right here. And all this code is going to be for one featured listing. If we have more than one, we're going to copy this and we're going to paste it for as many featured listings as we want. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, because I'm going to use, for an example, I'm going to do 2. So after I highlight and copy that, I'm just going to space it, and then I'm going to paste the extra code in there. And then now I'm going to enter information on two different properties for featured listings. If I have 3, I'm going to paste it again one more time. If I have 4, I'll paste it 4 times, and so forth. So however many featured listings you want, you'll just do the same process each time by spacing it out and then pasting the next code in. Okay, so now this looks again a little bit tough, but it's really not. All I need to do is replace the red stuff here. So I'm going to go in, and the first thing I need to do is go to my actual website. You're going to go to yours. Mine's john.kw.com. So make sure that you're on your website so that everything's branded to you. And then you're simply going to search for the featured listings that you want to put in. So I'm going to type in 5514 Crestmont Avenue and click that. And that's going to bring up a listing that I want to highlight on my page. And while this is loading, what I want to do first anyway is I want to, let me try this one more time here. I have a little bit of a loading problem. So what I'm going to do first though is I'm going to highlight this whole URL. I'm going to copy it. You can see this is the listing here. And I'm going to go back to that template, and where it says street address, okay, I'm going to type in the street address for this property, 5514 Crestmont Avenue, and that is in Livermore, CA. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that link that I had copied right here, I'm going to go in where it says link to property website, and I'm going to highlight that whole section here in red. Leave everything else that's not in red alone. Make sure you don't delete anything else. I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to paste that link in there. Now, the next thing is probably the most difficult, and I'm showing you on a PC. I don't have a Mac, so I can't really show you on a Mac today. I'll try to get my hands on one tomorrow so that I can show you guys how that might look on a Mac and do a little addendum to this video. But for right now, this is for PC. So you could do one of a couple things. If you had saved your pictures onto your computer and upload them to something like Google Docs, you can get a link to that picture online. But really the thing is you need to get a property link or a hosted link of the image that you're going to paste in here. So I'll show you how to do that right from your site. So I'm going to go back to my site with the listing page, and I'm going to find the link that I want for the property. So there's a good one of the kitchen on this one, or excuse me, the living room. So I'm going to use this, and so I'm going to double click on the picture so I can make it a little bit bigger. And what I'm going to want to do next is on a PC, I'm going to right click the mouse, I'm going to click the inspect button, and make sure you do it while you're in the picture, not on the outsides here. It has to be in the picture here. And this is going to highlight the image area of that page or that link. So see where these 3 dots are? I'm going to click the 3 dots. I'm going to hit or click where it says edit as HTML. And then I'm going to find the link in here, and the link is basically where the HTTPS starts. And where we want to finish out as is, you see where it says quality down here and it has an equal sign? The number that is at the end of that is where I want to end. So in this case, I'm going to end after the 8. So it's going to end after the 8 and between the and. So I'm going to start at the HTTPS, and I'm going to highlight all the way to that 8, and then I'm going to copy that. And now I want to test that image out by opening up a tab and make sure that that link works. So I'll paste that into the bar, and we can see that that gives me a hosted web image with a URL to that. So I'm going to go back to the template now, and we're going to paste that link into where it says link to property image. So I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to paste it into that spot. So now you can see it shows up right there. HTTPS all the way to that 8. Now the link description is, we're going to type that in. It's going to be whatever we want to say about the property. So we could talk a little bit about the property. Since we're making a clickable image, you want to make sure that you put something to the effect of click the image for property details or information or whatever you want to say. So I'm going to just put in amazing new listing in Livermore. Click the photo for all the property details images and request a home tour. Okay, again, you can put in whatever you want there. So that's the first one. Now we wanted to do 2, so I'm going to show you really quick how to do a second one. So I'm going to go back to my web page, and I'm going to just search for the second property. So on this one, let's just type in 4107 Spyglass. We put that in there. We get the link to Spyglass Drive. Now we go back, and we got to go to the second one. So on the second one, we're going to, again, just replace the red stuff. 4107 Spyglass Drive, Stockton, CA. And then we're going to put that link in here. So we're going to highlight just the red. And then we're going to paste that link. And then now we got to get that property image. So we're going to double click on the image here. And then once the picture loads, I'm going to right click on the image, click inspect. That should open up this box here with the picture highlighted, or the section of the picture highlighted. We're again going to click the 3 dots, hit edit as HTML, and same thing. We're going to find the HTTPS, and we're going to highlight all the way until we get after where it says quality and the little number between the last number and the and symbol. So we're going to highlight and copy that. Again, we want to test that link to make sure it works. And it does. So we are going to go back into our template, and we are going to put that, or highlight that red part here. We're going to now paste that link again into that section, and then we're going to write a little description about that as well down here. So Brookside Beauty, click the image for all the property details images and schedule a private home tour. And that's it. If we had a third one, we would do the same process for the third one, fourth one, fifth one, however many you want. In this particular case, we just have 2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start down at the bottom, and then we are going to highlight everything all the way to the top here. We're not going to get this bold section stuff here. So the arrow with the H1 all the way down to the P with the arrow here. We're going to copy that, and then we're going to go back into Command, and where it says Section 1 Text, we're going to basically, or excuse me, not Section 1 Text, we're going to go up to the intro text, okay? Because again, on the template it says we need to fill out the intro text. So we're going to go up to the intro text, and we're going to highlight all that information, delete it, and then we're going to paste the HTML code that we created into the intro text. And then we're going to hit save and apply. And what you should see now is we have our featured listings. We have the address that we created with the image. This image is a clickable link, so when they click on this, it'll open up the IDX page to this listing. You have the details about that you had entered in below it, the second property address with its image, and the details that you had put down there as well. And then at the bottom, that contact us today that was in the section 1 text. So now we hit save and apply already, so now all we're going to do is hit save changes. We're going to click yes. And then now, if I go back to my website, and I'm going to reload the page, what we should find here is the featured listings should now be a page in my drop down. And so if I click on the link here, I can see that featured listings does show up. And if I click on that, we have our featured listings, we have the properties that we added to that. And if we click on one of these pictures, it's going to open up the IDX page to that listing, and our consumers that are going to our page can get the information on our featured listings. And it opens up a new link, so once they're done with that, they can go through here, schedule a tour, get the information, click on the X, and then they can go and check your other featured listings out as well. And then just make sure that once you don't want your property to have that featured listing anymore, you can go back to your template and erase the ones that you want to get rid of and replace them with the things that you want to add in there. And then you can go back in again whenever you want to update it by clicking the 3 dots, click edit. And then, like I said, after you use your template, so like maybe in 2 weeks, I want to put in 2 or 3 new featured listings. I'm going to go through that whole process again in creating at least the intro text. Because after you do these other things, you don't really need to do them over again. You'll just need to just do this one section. So however many featured listings I want, again, I'll do it 3 times. If I want to do 3, I'll go in there, I'll edit that stuff, I'll go into configure widgets, and then once I click company profile, I'm just going to simply change out that intro text with whatever new or updated information I want. I'll hit save and apply, and then that will update the featured listings that I select or that I choose. So again, anytime that you want to update your featured listings page, you just go back to this section on intro text, and then you repeat the process that we just did with the new listings that you want to add in there, and then highlight everything, go back to this page, and then just replace that intro text with the new one, and that will update everything that you want in there. And then you won't have to do this very long because, like I said, fairly soon the widget will be out from our tech team at KWRI, and it'll make the process a little bit easier. But for right now, if you want to get a featured listings page on your website, you can do so with a little bit of HTML copying and pasting and have a really nice looking featured listings page on your website that's ready to go. And there's all kinds of cool things that you could do with this, embed videos and be able to put calendars, all kinds of awesome stuff inside of your sites. But I just want to show you a featured listings page because that's one of the big ones that I've been hearing agents really wanting, and you have the ability to get that set up and ready to go now. Thanks for tuning in, and I know it was a long video, but a little bit of detail on this one. Wanted to make sure that you had all of it, and we'll talk soon.